we're in Boston, and we're doing. It's more of a bar sort of corporate gig that we're doing on top of this new apartment building that's been built, like a skyscraper on the top floor, pool, everything. And there's two of them. They're launching. They've got another party on the other tower just over the road. And because my equipment lights up and the vibe was great, everyone was jumping and going nuts, spinning the tops around their head. Everyone left that party, came down and came up to ours. So there's suddenly double the amount of people. It was lit. It absolutely went off, and they shut their party down. You could see on the other rooftop over the road. And we were buzzing after that. We were like, this is amazing. We're in in Boston in America, and we were like, right. I've got another show in a week's time in Virginia, a few states south. And I spoke to my missus. I rang her. I was like, do I need to come back? We've got return flights for both of these trips. But I was like, can I just stay in America for a week? She's like, yeah, I'm in Tokyo. She's doing shows in Tokyo. So she was like, do whatever you want. Go on, big up to Gemma at Evolve Entertainment.
Yeah,
she's
Gemma.
Smashing it and been huge support for what we do. And again, this is a great example of her just being like, yeah, man, do what you want.
Yeah, yep.
So, I'm with my tour manager at the time, and we ended up hiring a tour bus then and there in Boston. Rung the sax man and was like, bro, do you want to meet us? We can pick you up in New York. Do you want to fly over? We're going to do a road trip down for a week down through a few states to do the Poconos. We're about to do some things like some skydiving, some boat trips, this and the other. So we did. He flew out to join us. We picked him up in New York. And, we went, Poconos, fishing, boating. One day woke up very hungover, skydiving. And then continued our way down, winding through the Poconos in this big tour bus and all the equipment's in the back. Get down to the Virginia, start setting up the equipment, and we realised we're missing some equipment. And when we've been winding our way through the Poconos, the big bang that we heard was us actually losing a case out the side door. There was doors either side.
No.
And all my equipment's on wheels, and there's 6 cases, and they were just, every time we were turning the corners, they were bashing left and right, and one of the corners was obviously just too much, and it just bashed through the door, disappeared off into the woods, and then the door just slammed shut and locked itself again. I was like hung over in the back on the bed, so I heard this, and I said to my tour manager, I was like, did we just lose something? He got out and had a look, and because the door was still locked, he's like, no, man, doors are still locked, it's fine.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, Central London. Central as you could possibly be. Big shout out to all the sharers and carers, people that have been friends of the show from the very beginning. 2025 of us upon us. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GK Nifty Heads of 10,000 play-to-earn Graph Punks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website gkniftyheads.com and play to earn now. In the house today, we have a very good friend of mine, a gentleman and a scholar in the world of technological DJ formatting. From the early inceptions of percussive drumming, early Blue Peter risings, into future forward ideas, into repurposing DJing with the drums, with the original VT and VJ craftsmanship. He goes by the name of Afishal.
Yes, killer. Legends. Love that, bro. Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm well. Yeah, excited to see what 2025 holds for us, man.
Yeah, I think there is this burgeoning idea that everything that we've collected up to this point gets repurposed, utilised, and put through the machine in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
But you have to have built your scorecard up, right?
100%, bro. Yeah, and you've got to bring something new to the table as well. I mean, I'm not planning on each year doing the same thing, and I'm excited to see if I put some new things out there, what adventures, lie ahead, because I like the variety of life. I like to see, what else we can get from it, because, for so long, just playing drums, I've always wanted to, do something different and take it in new directions. So, yeah, got some plans for 2025, mate, and excited to see where they take us.
Well, technology and drums is your thing. When you couple that with dance, the broader sense of dance music and what you've created, it's not the kind of thing that's on the on the job application.
It's a hard thing to describe sometimes.
No, yeah. Explain it for the guy. Explain it for everybody what it's all about.
Yes, I mean, it's a funny thing when people ask you, what do you do for a job? I mean, to save people the spiel, sometimes I'm a drummer. I'm a drummer, yeah. But
Yeah.
but it's taken on so many different shapes and formats over the years. And I mean, one way to describe it is I'm a visual DJ drummer. I combined, there was a point when I was in a studio with my bongos, which is how a lot of my career started, just playing along to DJs in nightclubs and improvising. I was tuning my bongos. I was like, oh, these sound like a melody. This sounds great. I could play a melody with my bongos. I was like, oh, what if I put a trigger? Exactly. And I was like, what if I actually put some triggers on there and then just triggered actual notes from a synth, from a keyboard through Ableton? And that's when that idea sparked, and then I ran with that for ages. Like, oh, well, then what if when I hit the drums, they lit up? And then what if when I hit them, then graphics shot out of them? And then that idea kept snowballing, and I locked myself away for months, just building and prototyping, melting plastic, soldering, cutting, drilling, all these things to try and make this idea I had in my head come to life. And I eventually had a prototype and made some videos, put them out into the world, and it was me, hitting these drums that I'd built, that when I hit them, they light up and flash, and they play music, they play sounds, they play audio samples, rather than, traditional hearing drum kit sounds. That's where I was trying to differ. And then, rather than just pressing play on a track as a DJ, take apart the bass, the synths, the vocals, program and load them into these 16 drums that I've got, and then again, all the samples can change when I press the pedal beneath me, and then I've got a whole new bank of sounds. So then I could do a whole show with this. So I put these videos out online in 2013, and you hope, you expect big things, and it opened some doors, but it fell on deaf ears. I'd say I then spent another few years relentlessly making videos and pushing this concept out into the world while still banging bongos on a weekend and playing in bands and doing weddings and bar mitzvahs and nightclub shows. And it wasn't until 2017 when one of my videos got picked up by, I think it was Unilad Sound.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a funny story behind that. Like, I put that in front of them. There's a guy that's seen a laser harpist that I followed on Facebook back in 2017, and he was having this whole convo on his feed about how Unilad Sound had come to him to put one of his laser harp videos up, and he was like, no, you've got to put it on my page and then share it through yours. And they're like, bro, we're giving you an opportunity here, take it or leave it. But he'd taken a screenshot of the convo, and the researcher that had reached out to him, her name was in this screenshot, and I was like, oh, I'll add her on Facebook, I'll send her my video. I can see if she wants to post it on the Unilad Sound page. I've been relentlessly pushing them on my pages and trying to get something to take off for this concept I've been pioneering. And no initial response. I'd come up with a catchy title. I was like, drummer creates a new way to DJ. And sort of left that with them. Went away on my honeymoon at the time with my wife. Still heard nothing. And then I'm flying back from Thailand. And in that time, she's responded going, yeah, love this. We're going to post it now, see how it does. I'm unaware, flying back from Thailand, like 14-hour flight. I land back to my phone going crazy, just ding, 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 ding. Bro, you're here, you're everywhere, it's happened. Because everyone knows in my world I've been pushing this for ages. It's been everything. I've been at gigs, in the dressing room while everyone else is having lunch and chatting. I'm just like, now I'm on my laptop, I've got this other edit I'm doing. I've seen you do the same thing when we've been in Asia on tours, and you've been committed to the podcast and, editing and just... Yeah,
brutally sad it was as well. Middle of Bali, wasn't it? Yeah! Get in the pool, Kels. Just chill, son.
You're like, no, man.
But once you're on a mission, isn't it? It's the mission.
Absolutely that, and you believe in it and you give it everything. So, people were aware of the time and effort I put in, so when they saw it going everywhere, it had taken off on Unilad Sound, a million or two views within an hour or so. So then Unilad picked it up and put it on their page, and it blew up on there, and other pages, then Lad Bible and TU EDM, and then it just kept snowballing. And by the end of the month, it was 50 million views. By the end of the year, it was hundreds of thousands of views, and it was pages all across Asia, America. Everyone that seemed to post that video or other videos of mine were getting millions of views. So then life changed. I was then suddenly hundreds, thousands of inquiries a week. I had to get friends in to come and help deal with the just overwhelming change in lifestyle. Yeah,
that's the dream.
And then I was lucky, I guess, because we just kept relentlessly making videos. So I did a remix of this track. Avicii put out at the time when he was alive, called Without You. Again, another long story behind that one, but that took off for me, and that's now got, I think, about 50 million views. And so I think the continued success of putting out videos and them taking off made it a real life-changing moment for me.
The platform of Unilad was that was
a springboard.
Yeah.
That's definitely how it all started. And then, just rode that way for quite some time. Obviously, you joined, and we toured together.
We
did. We had some amazing adventures around, Asia and as far as Australia and beyond, New Caledonia.
One highlight was India.
Oh, bro, the festival we did.
That was so good. Where it was like a private festival, you understand. It was a private
For
festival.
this university out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And inside was this massive like marquee with all corporate, like everything from Subways to whatever brands that India has, but they were all over. It was just so well put together, and mind blowing.
It was a tech festival. Yeah, it was called Tech Fest, I believe, and so many different things going on.
Oh no, I'm talking about the other one. The other one went to the private party.
Oh yeah, we've done loads together out in New Year, mate. I was thinking of the big one where 20,000 people turned up.
Yeah, that was the other one. That was
I thought you did that one.
Yeah, true. Sorry, I was forgetting that one.
Yeah, we've done a fair few together. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's been some crazy
Jesus,
adventures.
we haven't we? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
mate. I love that video. Even I look back at that now and smile. Like that was supposed to be like I think between 5,000 and 10,000, and because I didn't realise I guess how much our videos have blown up over there and the stuff we'd done. 20,000 people turned up to come watch the show.
That
Man.
was insane, yeah. And yeah, mark my words, it was insane. And one thing I think that carries, particularly with good business practice, is your ever increasing resourcefulness and inventive ideas, means and ways to getting things over the finishing line quickly and professionally. Do you know what I mean? It's not not a normal trait. I mean, there is a certain target you go for, and most of I haven't seen one where you haven't hit target. So what's the mindset behind that?
I mean, some people call it obsessive. Some people might call it ADHD. I certainly find that when I get into the flow with something, I don't stop. And I'm lucky in that maybe because I put my body through lots of lack of sleep over the tours and the lifestyle that we've lived for over half my life, that I can just go and don't get tired if anything comes more alive. So I will quite often just go through until the following day on a project if I get into it and if it's going well. So yeah, just relentlessly smashing something out until I tell myself, you should probably sleep now. It's been a couple of days, 3 days. So let's have a few hours, wake back up straight away, back on it. And it would just take all my focus. And luckily with an incredibly supportive, wife and family around me who've, believe in the vision and given me the time and space and support to do all these things, I've been able to just, carry these ideas through to the finish line.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And when you see the final outcome, you'll obviously see the intro of the podcast, so you'll get an understanding. The rig itself. Now, I know you've got a name for it. Please remind me.
The tremor.
So the tremor, my friends. Interactive. Stick hits drum, drum hits sample then works in accordance with the other thing, the other pad you hit, which then constructs the music, which could be a duration of a song, most likely so, and then you then bring in the next sample of the next song, and it becomes like a DJ mix with lights and everything.
In a sense, it goes even more in depth, really. I mean, you're right. When I hit the drum, that's sending a signal through to my audio interface, and then putting that into Ableton. And
This is the science bit, by the way.
Oh yeah, here we go. Time for the techie bit. So then I'm seeing that signal come through on each drum, and once it passes a certain threshold that I've set using a plugin, that then converts that signal to MIDI. And then once I've got that MIDI signal, then I can tell it to do anything, which we do. Control the samples, control the graphics, control the lights, lasers, effects, wristbands. When we control like thousands of wristbands in the crowd, I hit a drum and everyone's wristbands light up and flash and pulsate.
Hold on, wait. How do you do that? How does that... How?
So we teamed up with a company called Zylobands who do all the LED wristbands for the Coldplay concerts. I reached out to them, showed them what we were doing. I was like, let's collaborate. So they sent a couple of technicians down to my studio. We connected our tech together to make sure it could talk to one another. And then now, we take it around on the road and we can literally give wristbands out to people in the crowd, and I can hit different drums, it does different effects, where it waves across the crowd from one side to the other. And, like I say, pulsates to every beat. So then they are part of the show, then they're part of the lighting effect in this performance. So yeah, there's no limit then to this MIDI signal as to what we can connect it to.
Wow.
So that's what I'm looking to explore even further in 2025.
MIDI is king.
There you go.
So
Exactly that.
you'll have the TV screen in the back, you're hitting that, whatever sample that is triggered from what video.
Yeah, and every single sample as well. Like I said, we wouldn't just hit it and it just press play on something. It would generally be a sample of, a split second to, maybe a few seconds if it's a crash or some sort of longer synth. But generally, I like the more staccato sounds where you can really clearly see that when I'm playing a melody. Back in the early days when it was like, Martin Garrix's Animals was popping off, that was fantastic for me on the drums. Really percussive. And you could then, rather than just when DJs just be pressing play on that track, you then have the energy of my previous career as a nightclub percussionist where I'm going crazy, jumping around. You've combined that with a DJ. So then you've got the, every single note that you can hear being played live, remixed live. I can then mess around with it in a way beyond what DJs might be able to, because there's weeks of work that goes into prepping for these shows as well. So I do geek out, get carried away leading up to it, and then sometimes when we're doing the performances, people are almost like, "Nah, that can't. You're just pressing play, man. You're faking that." I was like, "What's the point? Why would I spend months and years building this and creating it and just pioneering this new way to do the visually, to then just go, actually, nah, man, let's just..."
Yeah, no,
let's make it."
I struggle with that sort of critique, because when you're performing, there's an energy, there's an intensity in which things are, and you can hear, when things are.
When I mess up, you can hear it.
Tiny nuances, like you don't. That's what I mean. It's like, well, it's almost like you want to showcase you messing up to prove that everything is correct.
Sometimes I bring people up on stage. Like I would have a moment where I'd be like, "Guys, right, just to show you all it's live, can I have a volunteer?" And bring them up in the middle of a nightclub, sometimes on the festival stage. Like, look, check it out. It would sound rubbish because they don't. I'd teach them a little bit, but they would quite often not be drummers or not know where the samples are on this 16 pads that's in front of them, or forget once I've taught them. So all of a sudden, people in the audience are like, "Oh, okay, I get it now." And it adds, you get that extra level of respect from people in the audience when they realise that it sounds so good because I practiced it for so long and memorised where all these samples are for an hour-long show. And when I press next on the sample, on the pedal, MIDI controller, it's a whole new load of samples. So I've got to remember then what comes next and hit it and hope I've got it right. And if I haven't, it's really obvious for people dancing to it because, suddenly it sounds really bad.
Galloping horses through the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Collaborations, on the, heading segue, but I remembered Australia. No, where was it?
New Caledonia?
New Caledonia.
Just off the east coast of Australia, yeah.
Yeah, you think you've travelled? That was one hell of a journey. Like,
that was an adventure.
48 hours.
Oh, that was long. So, that was a few days, wasn't it?
We got there, though.
Stopped off through Sydney, Yeah, that was a really, really cool trip. And one of the most beautiful places I've ever experienced. One of the most, the groups of most beautiful people there. Like this French colony of just incredibly lovely and charismatic people. They just live in the island life. Beautiful beaches.
It's crazy to think that we even
water.
went there.
I know, man. It's great. This job gets to take you to these places you'd never know existed. Yeah. And that's one of the beautiful things about what we get to do is experience the world. Because I wouldn't take myself on a holiday there. I wouldn't know about it.
No.
So that's one of the things I really appreciate with what we do is adventures like that with people like yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some good times.
Good times. Good times. My mind's going off into some heavy nostalgia. But collaboration, yourself and me, the beatbox and the tech. Saxman. Big up the Saxman.
Yes.
Yes, the Donny.
He connected us, mate, originally.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The man with the biggest black book of all black books. The legend that he is. Yeah, bro. We've done a lot of things together, me and the Saxman, over our 15, 16 years together. Yeah. We started off playing sax and bongos together, doing the club scene. And we first met in Manchester, maybe even Blackpool. This is good, we should do this more often. We started a duo called the Live Elements, and the two of us have been supporting each other's careers independently. Now he's got Active Artists Agency, and that's how we then connected. Yep. There's been a lot that's come.
Big up Healy as well.
Yes, absolutely.
The guys, Peace as well. I mean, these are all these characters that help bolster the vision. Because when you add elements in, again, it just... And I pick on New Caledonian in particular because that club was not really designed. They barely had Wi-Fi on the island. But the way that we had to construct it was a particular way.
I mean, this club was on the water. This was on stilts over the sea. So not your typical club, thatched roof. Every you look off from every balcony and it's just the sea and it's beautiful. It was an absolutely iconic place to perform, but not your typical festival or nightclub show that we would normally do.
No. And I just remember us all being on stage, reasonably small stage, but modest, it was fine. The audience, the electricity, you can't replicate that energy. Just going back to the statement of everything's rigged and fixed on the machine, it's not true. And when you've got other people co-signing that are also ad-libbing and working with it, what an electrifying show.
That's my favourite part of it is working with other incredible performers like yourself, Saxman, Dan Healy, Pease, Ed, Travbox. There's some amazing people we get to tour with. and the performance side, it's just completely lifted when you're vibing with your friends on stage. But then, I mean, as you know, for me, like, it's all about the adventure. We would never just do a gig and then leave. We'd always allow a couple of days either side to explore these beautiful places we get to go to. So then you're with some of your favourite people in the world, travelling to some of the most incredible places in the world and turning everything into an adventure. I mean, I remember this one gig we did together in Bali. In fact, no, I think we were actually just out partying. But it turned into a gig, and you ended up on stage.
That's right.
This bar
It's
had
that
a
skateboard
skate bowl in the club.
That was incredible.
Yeah. And I remember my tour manager was getting a tattoo on a sofa in there. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you're up on stage you've taken over.
Yeah.
We were literally like, you guys, you must have heard of this guy, Killa Kela, and somebody had like heard your reputation. Was like, fucking, like, let's get this guy up.
Yeah.
And
I think you were helping out with the sound as well.
Yeah, you
something was
just
going
taken
on.
over the club in
It
Bali,
was a proper ambush, wasn't it?
We just gone in for a drink, and next thing you know, like...
It's the unpredictableness of it, isn't it?
Yeah. I had something happen. Me, the saxophone and Healy, were in Val d'Isere, and we gone to a really cool venue called Dick's Tea Bar. And we were trying to get in, and through, again, Saxman's connections and Healy's connections, we ended up getting in. It was a staff night. It was their first opening night, so it was just for people who was on staff. But we ended up getting in there, and as we walk in, one of Dan Healy's tracks is being played randomly. Walked up to the DJ, the weatherman, and like, this is Healy, you're playing his song. It's like, no way. So introduced us to the club manager. Next thing you know, the following day, they've invited us back. And we're then doing the opening night to the public.
No way.
Healy DJing, saxophone on the sax, me on the bongos, and the lighting desk pressing all the CO2 and lasers, because you know me, I love the tech.
Pyrotechnique.
But yeah, these things, man, they just happen from just connections and knowing people. And, like I say, we've got a fantastic group of people around us that are all very creative, very skilled at what they do, and lead on to, many more ridiculous adventures.
Are you a believer of fate?
There's something very true in do good things happen, and karma, and yeah, absolutely. There's been too many weird things that have happened for it just to be complete chance, complete coincidence.
I definitely feel that, particularly with yourself. You're extremely friendly, easy to get on with, good human. And it's really nice when people get the riches of just doing the right thing and being right. There's something about that. The gods are aligning nicely.
Good things happen, bro.
Yeah.
And you surround yourself with good people as well. I think that we've got a fantastic network. We know a lot of the same people, and I think when you've got that army of good energy and good souls around you, all going in the same direction, the right direction of just positive way of thinking, doing what we do to make other people happy and smile, and sharing our gifts and skills in ways and places that bring people alive and give them a good night. I think there's nothing but goodness surrounding all of that.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? It's that gift the gods recognise, don't they? Well, we've had a couple of them, so we're going to have some more. Tell me the craziest tour story that has ever happened to you.
All right, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
You think that one through.
Try and think of a PG one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think.
Because the thing is, you're so well-travelled and very unlike other people. You seem to be in the most craziest of scenario places.
I've got a good one. So we're in Boston, and we're doing. It's more of a bar sort of corporate gig that we're doing on top of this new apartment building that's been built, like a skyscraper on the top floor, pool, everything. And there's two of them. They're launching. They've got another party on the other tower just over the road. And because my equipment lights up and the vibe was great, everyone was jumping and going nuts, spinning their tops around their head. Everyone left that party, came down and came up to ours. So there's suddenly double the amount of people. It was lit. It absolutely went off, and they shut their party down. You could see on the other rooftop over the road. Anyway, we were buzzing after that. We were like, this is amazing. We're in Boston in America, and we were like, right. I've got another show in a week's time in Virginia, a few states south. And I spoke to my missus. I rang her. I was like, do I need to come back? We've got return flights for both of these trips. But I was like, can I just stay in America for a week? She's like, yeah, I'm in Tokyo. She's doing shows in Tokyo. So she was like, do whatever you want. Go on. Yeah, big up to Gemma at Evolve Entertainment.
Yeah, big up,
she's
Gemma.
smashing it, and been huge support for what we do. And again, this is a great example of her just being like, yeah, man, do what you want.
Yeah, yep.
So, I'm with my tour manager at the time, and we ended up hiring a tour bus then and there in Boston. Rung the sax man and was like, bro, do you want to meet us? We can pick you up in New York. Do you want to fly over? We're going to do a road trip down for a week down through a few states to do the Poconos. We're about to do some things like some skydiving, some boat trips, this and the other. So we did. He flew out to join us. We picked him up in New York. And, we went, Poconos, fishing, boating. One day woke up very hungover, skydiving. And then continued our way down, winding through the Poconos in this big tour bus and all the equipment's in the back. Get down to the Virginia, start setting up the equipment, and we realised we're missing some equipment. And when we've been winding our way through the Poconos, the big bang that we heard was us actually losing a case out the side door. There was doors either side.
No.
And all my equipment's on wheels, and there's 6 cases, and they were just, every time we were turning the corners, they were bashing left and right, and one of the corners was obviously just too much, and it just bashed through the door, disappeared off into the woods, and then the door just slammed shut and locked itself again. I was like hung over in the back on the bed, so I heard this, and I said to my tour manager, I was like, "Did we just lose something?" He got out and had a look, and because the door was still locked, he's like, "No, man, doors are still locked. It's fine." Like,
So you shut yourself up.
Yeah.
And that was went into the woodland.
So he disappeared off down to Virginia. I went to do the show and was missing all the light panels that lit up my rig. At the time, an earlier version from what we have now, it was like the SD trem, and now I've got the HD trem that's made out of like flexible video wall panels. Back then, it was made out of LED lights, and it's like, right, how do we fix it? It wasn't panic. I remember my missus called me, like, "How's it going?" I was like, "We've lost some of the rig."
You got on a bad
She's like,
time.
"Why are
honey."
you laughing about it?" I was like, "'Cause we'll fix it. It'll be fine." She's like, "How?" I was like, "Leave it with
See,
me."
this is that energy. See, I don't know. You just smile at the fate of the problems, right?
Yeah, we went to a shop, like a pawn shop. There's like musical instruments, all sorts of random things there. Went and spoke to the guys. I'm looking for some drums. We'd lost a few drum pads, so I was like, I needed these specific drum pads. And the dude was like, "Hang on a minute, is this you?" And he turned his computer around and he was watching my video on Reddit. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? What are the chances?" And this is the point where like my stuff was popping off, like I say, every other week, going viral over. So then this was like, "Yeah, man, I've got exactly what you need." So they were really happy to like help us out getting these drums for us. They're getting photos with us. Like the chances of that, they ended up giving us loads of lights that we needed. So we ended up lighting the drums in a different way.
Yeah.
And they give us everything. They're like, "Look, you don't need to buy some of this. You can just give it back to us. And we know who you are. Like we'll trust you.
Yeah.
Just bring it back after the show." So yeah, it absolutely worked out, man. We got everything we needed from this one random shop we went into. And they gave us all the pads and all the lights to make the show come alive, and the show went on, and we absolutely.
There are no coincidences, are there?
Right.
It just says this is how, if you're on your path, this is the way it's meant to be.
Yeah. As long as you stay positive, there's always a solution. Never worried about it. I remember we had one where we were in Bali, and we were jumping back and forward. So were you on the one that the volcano went off?
No.
So that was a different one. Okay, so it's another Asia tour, and in between, like being in Jakarta one weekend, and
Was it the Iceland?
it was the
volcano?
Mount Agung in Bali.
Right.
That erupted when we were there. So all airports closed, all flights stopped, and we've got to continue the tour. And it was really bad weather as well. So you day one you see it erupt, and then there's ash everywhere. I've got pictures of me like this, like with a eruptive volcano in the background, right on a boat getting to another island. And we're trying to figure out how we can keep the tour going. We've got promoters in Jakarta, like, how are you going to get here? Airports are closed. I'm like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And I remember one anxiety-filled day at the Airbnb, we're all just sat on the pool, just sort of working on the show, but you keep getting these thunderous noises that sound like an eruption. But it's the bad weather, it's the storm. Each time we're expecting to see like the sky light up with like lava. Like on the news, it's like it's going to be the biggest eruption amount of going. It's due. It's going to happen. So we're now terrified, thinking we're going to be not only stuck, but like it's actually going to erupt, and we can't see the mountain because of the storm at the same time now.
Oh, wow.
Day 2, day 3, when we're stranded there. So anyway, we hire a driver, and rather than fly out, we drive to one of the shipping ports and manage to get on a boat that's taking cargo and lorries to the mainland, and then we end up getting driven to a tiny little airport called Bling Bling Sari, and get on a little plane there. I think it was a propeller plane, and that then flew us to Jakarta, and we made it in time for the show. So volcanoes will not stop us.
Yes, not a break of sweat.
In fact, I remember there was a terrorist attack in one of the gigs I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was in Beirut.
What?
Yeah, I was in Beirut with the sax man, and we were out there doing a gig, and a car bomb went off outside our hotel. It actually injured like 90 people, killed like 9 people, I think.
And where were you guys at the time?
We were in the hotel. It was like the hotel shook like an earthquake, blew out all the windows. It was mad. They were trying to kill the chief of police. I think they actually got him.
Really?
When we went out to the street, like the street was just on fire, cars upside down on top of other cars. All the windows from all the buildings up was just on the floor.
Hold on,
just
so you
glass
walked
everywhere.
out, and you're like, almost like before and after, you walked out and was like, oh.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild. Yeah, we were just in the middle of like a war zone. So I was like, Ben, let's go up to the roof and see if there's other explosions. See if it is actually has it become a war? Like, are there other explosions going on? Or is it just like one attack? Where's safe to go? So we went up to the roof to see if there's other smoke. And there's just smoke, like big black bellowing smoke right from next to our hotel. So then we went back down and. Everyone was running around screaming. Ben was sort of just going circles because it looked scary where we were anyway. It looked like, somewhere out of a movie in the middle of a terrorist attack, like you'd expect. So, we didn't know which way to go, what to do. And I was like, I'm going to go see what's going on. So, I walked towards it and there's fire engines now coming through and all the power lines have dropped and phone lines. So the fire engines like driving through, ripping all these cables and lampposts with it to try and get towards the burning building.
Wow.
And people being carried out. That was wild. Helped and assisted how I could to move some people, and then next thing we're getting interviewed by routers, and because we're like on the scene, and so then it's all over different newspapers back in the day. Michael Fish, a musician, Torin was there, and this is his eyewitness report, and then through Saxman and his black book, like I was talking about, next thing you know, he's got I think a cousin or a relative coming to pick us up in an armoured car who works out in Beirut, and next thing you know, we're in their secure apartment, like bomb-proof apartment, and we're watching Sky TV with a beer. And we're being flown out by the British Airways the following day. But we had to take all the back roads because there were them riots, so people were pushing burning bins off of the bridges onto the motorways. So we had to be escorted by police and taken through the back roads, so we weren't like kidnapped or taken hostage or something. I don't know. It was all a bit wild, and we made it back, and British Airways flew us home, and we made it back safe. But yeah, there's been a few stories like that, some incidents.
All gets logged into a timeline that gets blurry, doesn't it?
Yes.
And all of a sudden,
been this long time,
during the tour, you suddenly remember things, don't you? That you would initially not.
Exactly that, man.
And I think that's what collaboration's about. I mean, Mr. Saxman sounds like the Owl Quantum Leap. I've just got a phone bill. Let me just call up some industrial tanks. 1 minute, I've got family, I know.
Yeah.
What genius. Big up. But moreover, you get the opportunity to talk through stories. Like, I'll say something. Like, because that's what it's the experience of sharing, and then someone will turn around and tell you something that you'd have forgotten yourself.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I could keep going with a few more like that, but you get the idea. There's been some interesting adventures / incidents along the way.
You've got a new adventure now, haven't you? You've got the new, ensemble, street dance.
Absolutely.
Explosion.
Mega excited about that.
Let's talk about this, because, a touch of street culture for your ass.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so it was, it's a collaboration between myself and my wife, Gemma, her company Evolve Entertainment. We decided that, the shows that I'm doing, I've got more into show creation over the years because we've done nightclubs and festivals for, over half my life. So it's been nice to navigate into the corporate world and put a lot of time and effort into a powerful 5-10 minute show to launch a sporting event, a TV show, whatever it might be, a corporate stage, an arena, but all branded to the client, custom music, graphics, and I'm controlling these graphics. I hit a drum and their logo shoots out the drum across onto the screen behind me, and it's all branded to them. So me and Gemma wanted to take this to the next step and share the idea of bringing in 6 drummers, but it starts off that they're drummers and the audience thinks they're drummers, and I built these 6 new LED drums, and every time they hit them, the graphics shoot out onto the screen behind, and then halfway through the audience get this nice little surprise that they're not drummers, they're actually ridiculously skilled breakdancers, and as soon as the drop comes in, they're backflipping across the stage and do all these choreographed moves. So it's
Come on.
Yeah, it was a really exciting show that we put together. It was only a few weeks ago now in Amsterdam, and it's something I'm really passionately going to push to all our new clients in America and Asia, and try and tour with this, because there's like 12 of us, man. I love traveling with amazing people, and there's 12 of us in this with the technicians and the cameramen, tour managers and choreographers, and what an incredible crew. And we went out, did the show, also had some adventures around Amsterdam at the same time, and I want more of that. So.
I bet you do.
I got really into the graphics. I was really geeking away, like just creating all this, incredibly complex. They had 10 screens. They're also 3D as well. They were built right around the back. They had screens coming around the sides. So it was really cool to get stuck into it. And with a friend of mine, James Hollingworth and Pease, we create these amazing graphics, and then the lighting for all the drums as well. I spent days programming the light for the tube. I love just doing all this stuff myself, and I had to learn new software to figure out how to program these Astera light tubes through Ableton in real time in the project, so that it would do all the right cues at the right points, and just geeked out. I was like, right, okay, let's go get my comfy chair,
Yeah.
figure out how to learn something new. And I like the challenge and then coming away with new skills each time. I don't always just commission and outsource. Even building the rigs, I did it myself with my friends. Like a friend of mine, Wilker Kane, helped me in the early days. Like there's been lots of people that have been there that have helped just with the melting plastic, the soldering, the relentless building and wiring of these things. So thank you to everyone that helped build the rigs over the years. It's all been in house. We've been doing it. Dave at Traction Sound, he's been a huge help. He helped with the original plastics for it. He runs an incredible speaker company called Traction Sound that, again, have supported us. We've got their speakers in our studio now, so when we host events there. In fact, the Cube.
Yeah.
Let's get you down to the Cube.
That's right.
That's
This is one hell of a studio setup you got down there now.
Yeah, that was a fun little creation. Again, just, had a little bit of time in between touring, wanted to do something more than just have a flat video wall, because I had all these video wall panels, and I was like, let's build it into a cube shape and make a DJ booth, and have all these lights coming off of it. And
it looks incredible. I need to get down there for
bro,
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had some great parties in there actually as well.
Yeah.
Just like me and my friends, just like private parties, bring around all our mates, after party at the house, and yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then, took it to a couple of clubs. They saw the videos of me having a party with all my friends. We put them online. And they're like, can we book that? So we took it to Madison, London, and a few other places, and took this cube thing that I built. And the plan now is to connect with AAA, Healy and the Saxman, and with all their artists, do a few festival stages as well.
Brilliant.
Collaborating with all the dancers and, excuse me, and breakers and take over festival tents and run it all ourselves, because between everyone that we know, we have the skill set to run a whole festival stage with the sound from David Traction Sound, my lighting. There's a light technician called Dougie, the lighting director that we work with, and he's an absolutely incredibly skilled dude when it comes to programming all the lighting in my studio. We would then have him and yourself hosting, fucking there we go, and just taking over. And with everyone that we know, I want it to be a platform for everyone to come and perform, DJ, do whatever it may be, dancing, all that. And what better than doing all that with your friends, man?
Yeah.
I've been loving exploring all new festivals these past few years, and I think taking over, because we've got everything we need, literally. The staging, the lighting, the sound, the skills, the people, the artists, the energy.
And you've got the core, which is the drummer, always will be, people. But with all the connectivity into tech, future forward lighting, visual graphics, and now the human element of street dance, break dancing. How cool is that?
That was,
It's like half-time Super Bowl.
Tingles. You know what? That's actually an aim for me. That's something I'm aspiring towards, is somehow being involved, not necessarily myself being the performer. I don't need to be in the limelight. I love the creation of it all. I love building it and seeing it all come together. When I was watching the dress rehearsal, and when the drop comes in and all the dancers backflipping and doing their thing across the stage, I'm getting tingles, man. Like hair standing up on end. Like it doesn't always have to be about be in the middle with the drums. Like I just like creating amazing shows, working with amazing people, and if we could do something on a stage like the Super Bowl one day, be a part of that somehow. Yeah. That was always a vision of mine, to get more in the show creation side and navigating towards that sort of stage. Yeah, man.
Or Strictly Come Dancing half. I mention them because Strictly Come Dancing with the dance aspect. There's just so much. There's so much scope when you think about the commerciality of what you're doing. And it can be repurposed in so many different ways. Yeah,
I want to cover people in these LED suits, and then every time I hit a drum, it lights them up. Hit different patterns. The same thing with LED wristbands, but in full costumes of people doing all this, commercial dancing, all these routines around me, all controlled by the hits of the drums, triggering these lighting effects. It's that combination of the music, the energy, the sound, the lighting, the dance, all coming together, and visually on stage you can see that everything I'm doing is rippling out into everybody else sharing the stage with me, and then out to the audience with the wristbands they're wearing and onto the screen. I mean, there's no limit, man, to what we can do, and that's what excites me. Just continuing to make unique, new, big, impressive shows, and just keep mixing things up, because I like the variety of life in that way.
That's another Jerry Springer sign off for y'all, inspiring the nation and beyond. So the future is more official.
Yeah, man. More visual, bigger shows, more excitement, more energy, more travel, all that, bro. And we've got a young little aspiring DJ in the family now. My daughter, Lola, is 4 years old, and she's been touring with us and coming on the road with us. She was in Las Vegas a few months ago, absolutely loving it. In the dressing room with this amazing band, just entertaining all of them, conducting them all. And came out to watch Daddy's show, and she's dancing around at the back. And we told her that Las Vegas it's called Vegas Baby. So she thinks, you've got London, you've got Manchester, you've got Vegas Baby. So she tells me, I went to Vegas Baby.
That's amazing.
So yeah, man, she's absolutely following in mine and my wife's footsteps as an absolute, performer to the max.
Hold on to your headphones, those coming.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
My brother, it's been a pleasure chatting to you.
Real pleasure.
Love you to
Thank you for
bits.
having me on the show, bro.
Enough respect, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Official, what do you know? You know all about it now, right? Listen, Killa Kela podcast. Oh, by the way, dirty, shy.
Oh, yeah, man.
All day.
It went down well.
Yeah, it went down too well.
Yeah.
Learn something new every single week on this podcast. Anyway, we're out. It was out of fashion, all right? Sharing is caring. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they. You stay lucky people don't talk to you, and I wouldn't. Nice one, Fish.
Pleasure.
Peace.